What's up, YouTube? It's been a minute, and I'm not here to make any excuses, but I'm back, and I'm ready to get back on my grind and keep vlogging, keep YouTubing, and let y'all into my life. I'm missing the earring. I know it fell out while I was at work, and I was not gonna try to find it amongst all that stuff in our background. But I'm here today to give you a life update and basically talk about school and how I feel about school right now. So currently, it's a pandemic still happening, a panoramic, and I'm still studying electrical engineering at Southern University. I'm currently a junior, and this will be my second semester as a junior coming spring 21. And let's just say a lot has been happening with my school and with my engineering department. So to start, currently I am finishing Circuits 2. Well, I finished Circuits 2 this past fall, and I took a pass, the COVID-19 grading option that we had. It's like when you get an A, B, or C, you can select a pass or fail. A, B, C, D, or F. You can select a pass or fail for the COVID-19 grading option. If you don't want to take the B or the C or the D or the F on your transcript, you can take a P or F. So I took the P for that class. That class was really tough on me, as well as differential equations. Differential equations was so tough. That has got to be the toughest math class I ever took. Cal 1, I was able to study and get out. Cal 2, I was able to study and get out. Cal 3, I was able to not only study and get out, but I was actually learning while I was in the class, and I definitely can say that Cal 3 was my favorite. But differential equations, it's just a different breed. Like, I feel like it wasn't even equations in a sense. I just feel like it was a foreign language. Like, it was like I had not been doing math this entire time when I got to differential equations. It felt like every math I did before that didn't even matter, because differential equations is just a different beast. That is not to scare y'all. That's just my approach to it. I also have to take into the fact that my differential equations class was completely online. And on top of that, he didn't really have a class time. It was just a time, his office hours. He said it was his office hours. He never scheduled an official class time on our schedule. So the entire semester, it just said to be announced. And his class was from 10:30 to 11:30, which was his office hours. But really, he got on Zoom and he held class every day from 10:30 to 11:30. And because of the time he set, I was in class in another important class, 2 important classes that would like kind of trickle over to 10:50, and then another one would start at 11 o'clock. So to sum it up, I could never attend any of his lectures. So then he would like post the lectures on Zoom. He'll post them on Moodle so we can go back and look at the lectures. But even after going back and watching the lectures, I still had to use YouTube to go and teach myself how to do most things. So I was able to make it out with a B because of YouTube. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that he marked me wrong on, whether it was homework, assignments, or quizzes, it just turned into him being nitpicky because I wasn't doing it the way he taught it. But I can't do it the way you taught it because you don't even have a class time. So that was a struggle for me this past semester. Also with his class, he had Saturday tests, and I don't know if your school has Saturday tests, but Southern University does not have Saturday tests. He picked Saturdays for our tests. So test 1, we have 4 tests. Test 1, I had a conflict. I let him know that I have class at 11. so I won't be able to take his test. He had like from 9 to 1 or something like that. So I don't know, like 3-hour time period or 2 hours. Sometimes he only gave us an hour and 30 minutes. And it was basically just in between my class times. I let him know it was bothering my schedule. He told me that his class mattered more than other classes because his was worth more credit hours, which was true. His class was worth 4 credit hours, but he abused that to make me go to my other teacher and tell him that I have to miss his class because he didn't want to change his test time when I wasn't even the only student that had that problem. So after that, we went ahead and we had another dispute on test 2. So after that, I had to miss class. I had to take the test 1 with the whole class, virtually, of course. And then test 2, he had a Saturday test. That was the first time we had a Saturday test because more people in the class could not take the test that Friday because, again, time conflicts, test conflicts. Friday is a testing day for the engineering department. Most teachers put their tests on Friday. So after that, he decided to make our test on Saturday. Saturday from like 9 a.m. maybe to like 10:30 or 11. So I'm like, that's fine, that's cool. I don't even work. Well, I didn't work at the time. And when I did work, it was just like tutoring a student or it was being an RA on desk. So both easy jobs where I could take the test at. So our test was Saturday, and let's just say I wish that teachers had more training using Moodle and using their resources, because it's no reason why you can go and make a test on Saturday and leave your personal cell number on the test, and then after that you go and not answer the phone when we're having our problems with the test, with submitting the test. So let me just go into detail really quickly because I'm rambling. So basically, we took the test, went to Moodle, tried to submit the test. Test no submission button. There was no submission button at all. So I'm calling him. It's 5 minutes before the test is due. I'm calling him. Then I email him because he wasn't answering the phone. I'm thinking he just sitting at home laughing because I really think he wanted to see us like sweat. He just wanted to see us struggle. He would give us these 10-question tests, and everybody knows math tests in college should not be 10 questions long. Like at max, with the time they give us to complete these tests, there's like no designated exam time for these classes like other classes. It's just in that the classes are hour long traditionally. So for those hour long classes, we're expected to have like a maybe 4 or 5, 6 question test at max, and 6 is still a lot for how much each question covers. He created the test, and the test was hard to just get through. Simply analyzing the problem would take a minute or 2 minutes alone, and that takes up a lot of time when you're looking at each problem, answering each problem, checking each problem. It just takes up a lot of time. And I'm calling him, he's not answering. I'm emailing him, he's not answering. All of a sudden, boom, I submitted my test over email. It's a done deal. You didn't have the test submission button up. I emailed you my test. That's that. A week later, I see my grade. It's a 0. I'm like, why do I have a 0? You didn't submit your test. What do you mean I didn't submit my test? You didn't have a submission button open. So what I did was I sent it directly to your email, and I also emailed you like twice or 3 times when I couldn't submit the test to let you know all this. You ignored every email. So I'm figuring that you just accepted the test. He says that he posted the submission link to submit our test on that Monday. Sir, Moodle is just not like it's not an app on my phone. You don't have a designated class time. I'm not like running behind your Moodle to check for you because you don't even have a designated class time for me to do that. So if I'm in between classes and you have this test due at 2 p.m. on a Monday, how am I supposed to see that? Like, that didn't even make legit sense. Like, you can't just make a test due when you don't have a class period time at 2 p.m. in the middle of the day. Like, I'm supposed to see that. Now, later on that night, like probably around 5 or 6, when I'm checking Moodle, checking on my homework, checking on my quizzes, checking on my assignments, and I'm looking through, I'd be able to go and see, okay, he posted a test submission link. Let me go ahead and submit my test here. But I didn't even see it. He gave me a 0. So I go to the chairman. The chairman finally talked to him and they get it all together. And after that, everything was fine. It took me 2 weeks with communication back and forth. And I wasn't the only one he did this to. It took me 2 weeks with communication back and forth between the chairman to make sure that he went and fixed my grade. So for the midterm grades, that's why I was on him really hard, because the midterm grades were due. And I was not gonna just carry an F on my transcript when these tests are worth like 40% of a test grade. Like, it's so deep to me, I could not let that slide. So right after that, talked to the chairman, she talked to him, he gave me a B for my midterm grade. So I'm like, that's weird. Like, I didn't get a test grade back. Like, what's really going on? Let's fast forward to the end of the semester. I'm doing my it's final exams coming up, and I realized that I had a B at midterms, but I still don't have a grade for my test 2. So what's really good? So basically, I emailed the chairman to ask her, did she like follow up with him? Can I get a grade or whatever like that? And then I get an email. Y'all, guess what the email say? I might put it on the screen depending on, but I ain't gonna put it on the screen because I ain't trying to put on my business like that. But he put, please resubmit test 2 for final grade. Resubmit test 2. The test 2 that's already in your email. The test 2 that you've been ignoring since the middle of semester. That test 2. The test 2 that you said I didn't submit, but now you're saying resubmit. The test 2 you didn't have the submission link available for. The test 2 that, all right, I must resubmit test 2. Resubmitted test 2. I made a B on that test, and I made a A on the final, and I finished with the B or A. I cannot remember because I have 3 B's and 2 B's. I have 2 B's, 3 A's, and a pass for the past semester. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with school. I'm just feeling like I have a few gaps and holes in my lesson, and I feel like with all the confusion I went through email and through just online school in general, I'm not feeling too like encouraged about school for the spring, because I heard that like the more in depth you go into your curriculum, the more teachers are like, you know, different. They have their own teaching styles, they have their own personality styles. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I just feel like mixing that with online school, mixing that with hybrid learning, it just creates a lot of gaps for me. And I'm just trying to make it out with my GPA. Oh yeah, and my GPA did go up just a tad bit. So I'm up a 0.1 for my resume. So cheers to that. Cheers to me opening more doors for scholarships, and cheers to me winning a scholarship at the end of the semester. I am a recipient of the TMCF Honda Spring Scholarship. Shout out to my professor / mentor / research advisor for always being there for me and having my back and giving me the best advice a student can ask for at Southern. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in school. I'm not gonna say I'm discouraged about the spring, but I am gonna take it on head first, because one thing about me, I'm not gonna let the school chew me up. I'm not gonna let the school me. I'm gonna school, if you know what I mean. Like, cause when you school somebody, you kind of like, you teaching them a lesson. And I'm not gonna let school teach, well, I'm gonna let school teach me a lesson, but I'm not making sense anymore, so I'm gonna throw that metaphor out the door. So yeah, I'm just gonna tackle school. I'm just gonna make sure I do what I gotta do. I'm just gonna make sure I handle my business and I get the job done. And I just realized my ring light was not on the whole time. It kind of looked better without the ring light anyway. But thank you all for watching. It's time to be consistent on YouTube. It's time to be consistent in life. It's time to be consistent with these teachers, with my grades, with getting the work done, with studying, with understanding, with learning. It's time to be consistent all 2021. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.